Hello everyone, I am Demented Kirby. Welcome to my channel, The Commander Tavern. The Commander Tavern is a channel dedicated to my favorite Magic the Gathering format. The Brewery is a series on this channel showcasing my spicy brews and other deck techs. On this episode of The Brewery, I'll be discussing my take on a recently previewed commander from Foundation's Niv-Mizzet Visionary. If you like this deck or any of the cards I'll be mentioning throughout the video, please consider using my TCG Player affiliate link when purchasing those cards. You can find that link down in the description. It would really help out the channel at no extra cost to you, but the very best way you can help support the channel is with my Patreon. There are plenty of perks for being a patron, such as early access to certain videos, exclusive deck tech gifts, and more for as little as $1. You could also become a channel member for just 99 cents. Show off your support with a logo next to your name and exclusive emojis. Or you can always just support my channel for free by simply liking, subscribing, and sharing, which also helps out a lot. I put out a video every Monday, so you don't want to miss out. You can join my Discord server for free if you want to join the Commander Tavern community. All pertinent links are down in the description. Alright, let's get back to the episode. Niv-Mizzet is a 5/5 dragon wizard with flying for 4 generic, 1 blue and 1 red. Whenever you hit an opponent with non-combat damage, you draw that many cards. This ability in and of itself is absolutely insane. If that weren't enough, you have no maximum hand size while you control him. This opens the doors to so many different avenues of building Niv-Mizzet, so many that it can become very overwhelming. That's what happened to me when I first saw him previewed. However, a sudden bolt of inspiration struck my mind, almost serendipitously is it. And that was to build this commander at the helm of a Dragon's Approach deck. On its own, this spell draws us a whopping 9 cards for at most 3 mana. This card is so good with this commander that I'm running 25 copies of it in here, so that statistically, I draw 1 out of every 4 cards in the deck. So at the very least, I can start with 1 or 2 in my opening hand. Not only is Dragon's Approach absolutely blessed once we have Niv-Mizzet Visionary, but this spell can also tutor for the game-ending combo piece in the 99, Niv-Mizzet Parun. Whenever you draw a card, the Parun deals 1 point of non-combat damage to an opponent. Then, since you dealt non-combat damage to an opponent, the Visionary draws you a card, and thus you have an infinite combo going. This is the main route of victory with the deck. So long as you protect your dragons, this can be pretty consistent. To that end, the deck is running a chunky suite of counter magic to protect our combo, as well as how we get there. Fierce Guardianship, Pact of Negation, Force of Negation, Force of Will, An Offer You Can't Refuse, Swan Song, Tybalt's Trickery, Counterspell, Mana Drain, and Negate provide most of the protection we need. To a certain extent, you could even consider Stifle and Deflecting Swat in this category as well. You never know what counter magic bypassing triggered ability entering the stack could stop our combo. In any case, we clearly want to protect our win con. This is why 4 free counter spells and 1 free redirect spell can do so much here. If there were enough blue creatures in the deck, I'd have also included Flare of Denial. As for surviving until we assemble said win con, Cyclonic Rift, Aetherize, Illusionist Gambit, Evacuation, Chaos Warp, Guthrie Writes History, Vandal Blast, and Blasphemous Act round out the deck's interaction. Most importantly here are the global creature hate effects. Last thing we need is getting blown out by creature-heavy decks or that Soul Voltron commander. Mystic Sanctuary is included in order to recur any of these spells or the previously shown counterspells. The fetch lands are included for that pro-gamer move of fetching for Mystic Sanctuary at instant speed in response to a draw to recover that crucial instant to help us out. Cavern of Souls protects not only our commander but the other half of the combo since they're both dragons. It would 100% suck to invest 6 mana the first time to cast our commander only to have it countered. Cavern of Souls does so much work here that Expedition Map is included to be able to find it and Urza Saga to find the map. Even then, Urza Saga can be used to find other useful 1-drop artifacts in the deck that we'll soon see. But getting Cavern of Souls out early does a ton of work. Good thing we have Stifle to counter any Strip Mine type effects. Commander's Plate, Lightning Greaves, Swiftfoot Boots, Champion's Helm, and Mithril Coat are more ways to protect either the Visionary and or Parun in slower games. We do need at least 4 copies of Dragon's Approach in the graveyard when we cast the 5th one to cheat in the Parun from our library to the battlefield. That gives opponents plenty of time to kill the Visionary in the meantime, so we gotta make it harder for them to do so. Leyline of Anticipation and Vedalken Ori are included so that we can always keep our mana up for those counterspells. Dragon's Approach is a sorcery, so it deprives us of 3 open mana around the table, probably less if we want to cast more in a single turn. But being able to cast them at instant speed not only lets us play at the beginning of the end step before our turn when it's safer, but to also cast them at instant speed to draw more cards, hopefully into any interaction we might need. Locket of Yesterdays also helps with that since it'll almost certainly reduce the cost of our Dragon's Approach to just 1 red mana each. And if we're only using up red mana for those, we can keep the blue for counterspells. But more than that, we can cast many more in a single turn around the table. Pyromancer's Ascension also helps us make the most of Dragon's Approach by copying them, essentially getting us 18 cards with each casting. Absolutely insane enchantment here. It might seem win more, but having a game-ending combo piece in the command zone will 100% make you the target since turn -1. So we need all the help we can get. Speaking of all the help we can get, Eroded Canyon, Shivan Gorge, Sunscorched Desert, and Valakut the Molten Pinnacle are amazing here. If for some strange reason we run out of steam, we can activate Shivan Gorge to draw 3 cards at instant speed. If we already control our commander, then the deserts entering the battlefield draw us a card for free. Valakut draws us even more if we're able to trigger it. You might not think that blue-red is a color combination that can trigger landfall like that. But apart from the previously shown fetch lands, the deck's also running Wayfarer's Bauble, Burnished Heart, Canoptic Wraith, and Navigation Orb. These not only serve to get us the basic mountains while the fetch lands get us the dual type mountains, but these also accelerate the deck's mana. Let's be real, no one's really running mass land destruction spells, so the best way to accelerate mana is through land-based ramp effects. That being said, Soul Ring and Arcane Signet are still included as ways to accelerate the deck even against the risk of getting blown up. So long as they give us our explosive early game, it's all good. Alright, post-production Kirby here. The deck is also running Thassa's Oracle because it is incredibly easy to deck ourselves, so this provides another alternate win con. Alright, back to the regular video. The rest of the deck is just the rest of the lands. Apart from all of the previously mentioned lands, the deck's running Molten Tributary, Steam Vents, Thundering Falls, Volatile Fjord, Shivan Reef, Stormcarved Coast, Sulphur Falls, Training Center, Command Tower, and Ancient Tomb, as well as 6 islands and 7 mountains for all of the basic land ramp effects in the deck. As with all of my deck techs, you can build your mana base according to your budget. Whether you include more expensive cards or even cheaper cards is up to you. You do you. This brew is just an idea of how to build around Niv-Mizzet Visionary. As I mentioned in the intro, there are limitless ways of building this commander. While I went with the dragon's approach to this dragon, I might prepare an alternate deck list for it to my patrons over on Patreon. However, I'd also like to still know how else you would brew around it, so please let me know in the comments. If you're interested in the deck list of this spicy brew of mine, you can find a link to it down in the description. I would like to thank all my patrons for supporting me, and a quick shout out to all my higher tier patrons, the brewers, for their patronage. I'd also like to thank anyone using my TCG Player affiliate link. That also helps out the channel. I also want to thank any channel members. Your membership is greatly appreciated. And to everyone, thanks for watching this episode of The Brewery on the Commander Tavern. I am the Meta Kirby, and happy brewing!